This is the news from Trek Zone.
Welcome to the news, your bite-sized podcast catching you up on the latest science fiction production info. Let's get into the headlines of the past week. And we know a little bit more about the forthcoming season of Lower Decks with the press tour rolling on. Mike McMahon says that there will be a lot of amazing callbacks to previous Trek, a trip to Deep Space Nine, and a sequel to Season 1's movie parody episode. The voice of Tendi, Noelle Wells, says the show looks even better. Captain Freeman's Dawn Lewis says we'll get to know a little bit more about the characters, their families, and the dynamics that involves. Lower Decks returns August 25 for the US, August 26 for the rest of the world. Well, we've all seen the ensemble Next Gen crew getting back together, but Patrick Stewart and Gates McFadden have told EW that we shouldn't think of it as a reunion. Stewart saying, I think it's important to say that the third season is much more than a reunion season. Much more. It's intense, it's personal, it's social, it's a family, and it gets very serious. McFadden adding that it's quite an adventure with a brilliant story. The Dr. Crusher actress says she's sure fans will love it. Captain Pike's Anson Mount has spoken with Collider about Season 2 of Strange New Worlds. He says bigger swings are coming and even more genres will be explored. Ethan Peck adding Season 2 will be Season 1 on steroids. Leanne's Christina Chong noting that the fantasy episode will be topped in the forthcoming installment of Season 2. Mount also told Collider that more of the Enterprise is being fleshed out and we will see different parts of the ship in the second season. We did see one of those sets on the Ready Room at the end of the first season. Plus, we now know that the crossover with Lower Decks will mostly be live action. Mount musing that he thought it was going to be more like Roger Rabbit, but that was nipped in the bud by the producers. I'm sure that'll be disappointing news for Keeley. Well, with just 2 weeks until the 56-year mission tour kicks off in Vegas, tickets are almost sold out. In fact, Saturday has now sold out completely. And while the event, only the second since 2019, is no longer licensed, the convention has the biggest selection of Star Trek guests lined up for the 4-day event kicking off August 25th. Thanks to Trek Movie for compiling this list of notable inclusions. They are William Shatner, George Takei, Zachary Quinto, Gates McFadden, Jonathan Frakes, John Delancey, Nana Visitor, Terry Farrell, Kate Mulgrew, Jerry Ryan, John Billingsley, Anthony Montgomery, Ron Perlman, Sonequa Martin Green, Doug Jones, Anson Mount, Rebecca Romajan, Tawny Newsome, John Noble, and Tig Notaro. In fact, Creation aren't locking everything off yet either, with Ethan Peck just announced. The full guest list is, of course, on the Creation website. Now, to Trek Zone coverage. And while it would have been a thrill to be in person for the event, it just hasn't been able to work out. But I am hiring a local director of photography and field producer to represent Trek Zone on one day of the con. He'll travel around the signing room, filming the interviews that I would have done if we were over there, while I beam in from here in the Trek Zone office. It'll be the usual awesome podcasts, just not all in person. Hopefully next year. A huge thanks to Creation Entertainment for flexing the press passes they gave me. Trek Zone is the only podcast to receive official press credentials. I'm very excited for that. I cannot wait for an afternoon remotely attending the convention. Look out for that. We're going to have plenty of coverage to bring you. All right, well, let's check in with the other Star franchises to round out the show. Firstly, Star Wars and the forthcoming spy thriller Andor got a shiny new trailer last week with Diego Luna, Cassian Andor, premiering the trailer on Good Morning America, where we learned that the release has been pushed back to September 21, but it now has a triple episode premiere. Created by Tony Gilroy, Andor stars Diego Luna reprising the role of rebel spy Cassian Andor from Rogue One in a tale set 5 years prior to the events of that film. Joining Luna is Genevieve O'Reilly, who will return as Mon Mothma, as well as Stellan Skarsgård, Denise Gough, and Kyle Soller. Looking forward to that one. Now, our friends at Gay World are chomping at the bit to see new Stargate take off, with a recent article musing about how the recently acquired IMDb TV, now Freevee by Amazon Prime, which follows on from their acquisition of the MGM studio for an eye-watering $8.45 billion. Gateworld speculates that Freevee is the perfect platform to launch a Stargate series thanks to its Pluto TV-like ad-supported platform. Stargate's built-in fan base would drive subscriptions, and Prime's global reach could appease markets where Freevee doesn't exist. This is backed up by Freevee's current focus on acquiring rights to popular legacy content. So fingers crossed. Well, here at TrekZone HQ, we're continuing our rewatch of Babylon 5 and have started watching The Sandman on Netflix. This one is certainly interesting as we just finished episode 2 last night, much to the chagrin of Keely, who wants to binge the whole season. Tell you what, we've been spoiled for choice these days. Now, just before I go, a quick reminder that TrekZone membership costs less than a cup of coffee a month. It's available via the join button under each video on YouTube. Clear all that away to tell you about TrekZone membership. Less than a cup of coffee a month, available via the join button below this video. For our podcast listeners, jump onto the trek.zone/support. Now, supporting me grow this channel gets you first play access and behind the scenes goss. If you don't want to sign up to be a member for that $3.99 a month, you can do a thanks. They're available under each video here on YouTube. And they are a one-time contribution, very similar to PayPal in that it goes directly to me. On the YouTube side, it goes through the YouTube algorithm, of course. Google and YouTube get their cut before it comes through to me. So we also have paypal.me/Spiral Media. That is another way to donate directly to this channel, helping to fund things like our Vegas or Bust coverage via satellite. And plenty of other stuff coming up as well. Also, in-person away missions, plenty of stuff for you to actually see where the money goes to for when you support TrekZone. And a lot of people are doing that at the moment. I'm very grateful to those people that have donated directly to me. A very warm and fuzzy feeling. But unlike some people, I'm not out here for the donations or to make this a full-time hobby. I've got the full-time job. That's there. That's making money, and I'm quite content with that. But the endorphin hit of getting to meet the people that I get to meet is good enough for me. But hey, if people want to share in some of the costs of TrekZone, I'm never going to say no. I really appreciate every single one of you. As I say, do it today. Have my eternal gratitude. Looking forward to all of that. So it's the trek.zone/support for membership. It's clicking thanks on the YouTube videos to do a one-time donation, or paypal.me/Spiral Media to do a PayPal donation. I am Matt Miller for TrekZone. I'll see you in the comments.